Bull Monday. Moon still in Pisces. Probably last through all of Monday. Tuesday, February 12th, starts to feel a little better, but there's still some confusion. And probably still some angriness here because of something. This could be young people, again, venting their anger. It changes when the moon goes into Aries, Tuesday afternoon. And once that happens, everything opens up, and there's a more heroic feeling. And here, late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning, there'll be a conjunction to Uranus, sextile to Jupiter. At 7 degrees here, early Wednesday morning, there's that full moon trine, and gosh, this is enlightenment time. Anything from Tuesday afternoon on through Wednesday, till you get to the middle of the day, here's a square to Pluto, and you could be a little panicky. And finally there's relaxation and the sextile to Venus, and you could rest, give up, get some sweets, show some affection here Wednesday night with a nice sextile to Venus. Moon's in Aries, and so the enlightenment of the Aquarian age and the enlightenment of your higher mind continues through Wednesday and Thursday. You'll get some ideas on Thursday, the 14th, because there's a nice sextile to the Sun, and we had an Aquarian new moon. So you can start putting some of these new things into action. Yeah, brotherhood. Gee, out of the clear blue, I caught Alex Jones on TV yesterday, and he was going on and fuming about the globalists. That's a new one. The right wing has now got a new word, globalists. What does that mean? We all want one global government? And these guys are really afraid of that, the right wing. I think it'd be a good idea. Do you remember John Lennon's song, Imagine? Imagine there was no countries, there was no borders, there's even no religion. Imagine, if you could, what that would be like. I'm going to play John Lennon's Imagine a lot. From Tuesday afternoon on the 12th all through Wednesday through Thursday. It doesn't change till you get into late Thursday night and the moon goes into Taurus, and that's about midnight. And then early Friday morning, these lines represent 2 a.m. in Hawaii, by the way. So here we are at 2 a.m. and there's a nice sextile to Neptune, and we're back in belief. Yes, oh yeah, the kings. One of the things I've learned in my studies of history recently is the age of Pisces was the age of privileged people, kings, you know, aristocrats. That's what it was all about. You remember the French Revolution? They just locked off the head of any aristocrat they could find. Those are the Neptune people. So here they're going to get at you again. And believe this, Friday morning, the moon's in Taurus. Oh yeah, belief. But look out, here's that square to the last full moon, the 7-degree Leo full moon. And there's a little lunacy here Friday morning. Our emotions are a little exaggerated. Here in the afternoon there's a trine to Pluto, so there's some discovery, but gosh, it's the opposition to Saturn. So it's cold and it's icy, and we're poor, and there's no time, and there's no money. Eek! Friday night blues. Saturday morning, it's a little better. Early in the morning, here's a nice sextile to Mars. The trouble is there's a square to Venus. We can get the action here, and the heroes are out, but Venus says it's too macho for me. And there's no rest and relaxation Saturday morning. Might as well get up and get the work done. There won't be any fun in bed Saturday morning. Sorry. The moon goes by the south node here Saturday afternoon. We all feel like we need a little help. So take it easy Saturday. You won't get much done. If you do, you could get into some trouble with that Taurus moon. It continues through Sunday, and here on Sunday around lunchtime and before lunch, there's a square to the sun, and then there's a square to Neptune, confusion and delusion. So can't get nothing done. You try to go to church, there's no room, or the music's too loud and there's bad smells. So Sunday is a time to don't let your imagination take a hold of you. People are in delusion. They're drinking too much. Not a good time to go out in the world. But look at this. Here, late Sunday night on the 17th and early Monday morning on the 18th, the moon is gone by Jupiter. Hooray! Enlightenment, brotherhood, new ideas, truth and wisdom. You just had to get through the Sunday morning confusion. You know, don't listen to those preachers on TV. Nope. Sunday night, you'll get some real truth, some technical stuff that will calm you down and make you smile. Sunday night, Monday morning. More enlightenment from Jupiter and Uranus. Hooray! Hooray! Free Roger Christie. He's been in federal jail for 3 years. No bail, no trial. He's here because the feds put 3 DEA agents on our little island, on the big island. Had nothing to do. Roger was a legitimate minister saying pot helps you religiously. And he's been sitting in jail for 3 years. But at least he was prepared to go to jail. He knew something could happen here with crazy federal judges and crazy federal agents. This is Pedro Peter. He did not know, and he was charged in his 3-year-old son's death. He's got 4 kids in the back seat. He's going into a little store. The girl, one of the daughters, opened the door, and the 3-year-old fell out, and he couldn't know it, and he ran over him. And then he took him to the hospital, and the crazy people in the hospital decided, oh, we got to call. They said the community hospital people was the first entity to contact emergency officials. No, police officials, who decided the heck with the wife and the 4-year-old and the 4-year-old and the 5-year-old and poor Pedro himself. Put him in jail. So I called the prosecutor's office. I could not get Mr. Roth, who claims to be governing his prosecutor's office in a religiously Pono way. No, got his secretary. I told the secretary what I thought, that, you know, this is the most egregious use of prosecuting power I have ever seen. And, you know, obviously the prosecutor, you know, couldn't put himself in Pedro Peter's place, who's ran over his own 3-year-old son. My God. What is this country, what is this county coming to? Stuff like this goes on. Now for something a little more gentle. Yes, how to use your pocket astrologer, okay? For your iPhone or your pad. Your iPad's a little cheaper. This is lesson number 2, looking for love. Now, where are you looking anyway? There's 2 major things that astrology really goes for. One is when you leave the house. When you're starting something, makes a chart, see? And when you leave your house, you're starting a trip. Remember Ronald Reagan's astrologer, they would make the plane set out on the runway until it was just the right time by his astrologer's calculations for the plane to start moving. The plane didn't move until the chart was right. Well, that's like staying home, and then when the chart is correct, out of the house you go. And if you're looking for love, here's the trick. Look at your pocket astrologer. Now, this side over here, the 4 angles, okay, those are the big things. The rising sign, the descendant is the other people, over here is you, down here on the IC, that's your home, and up here is the public place. So, if you had Venus near the rising sign, well, you're the one who's you know, kind of wanting love. You're the lovely one. Your cheeks are pink and your hair is curling. That's not looking for love. If you want to find Venus, the love, you want it over here. or up here. Now, I've practiced this one a lot. This one is really fun. Venus up at the top of the chart. Now, I walk down to the beach, which is just about 2 minutes from me, and if Venus is right at the top, let's say it's 1 degree. Okay, now the chart's going this way. That makes Venus look like she's going that way, okay? Now, if I just wait while Venus is 1 degree off the midheaven, out of the house I go. I just barely get down to the street, and there's a pretty girl. Yes. If I have maybe 2 degrees or 3 degrees here, then before Venus hits the midheaven, because remember the midheaven's turning like this, makes Venus look like she's going like that. So in other words, you don't want Venus past this angle. If that's the case, you've missed her. She was there a little earlier, but you were a little late. Now if you put Venus over here on the descendant, as long as she's not this side, you'll go out, she'll bump into you. She'll be in your way in the supermarket, in the court, and that's a good way to meet Venus, right? If you want her to okay you, you want it up here on this angle where she hits a trine. The number here is the same as the number here. Now this position of Venus, where there's a sextile to the midheaven, and remember you want a degree or 2 before, makes her very accommodating to make a deal. If you're calling for a date, this would be a good position. Yeah, so that, you know, that the girl or the boy is going to want to go out. This is the sextile to the public hue. Yeah, for pure romance, here's a good place for her on the cusp of the 5th. The 5th is the romantic house, huh? And if you waited till Venus was trining the rising sign, that means Venus is 120 degrees from the rising sign. You've got to catch her a degree or 2 early now. Don't wait until it's a degree past. You've got to match the number for Venus. If she's at 4 degrees here, or if your rising sign's at 4, well, you want to catch Venus at 3. And then call that person up and say, let's go have some fun. And they'll feel romantic, and you will have done a good job in looking for love. It's all about Venus, isn't it? Yep. Here's a clue. When I first started gambling, and I would use charts to go gamble on if I was lucky enough to get to Vegas, I tried Venus, and I would put her here in the 2nd house of money, sextile the rising sign, thinking she'd make money because Venus and Jupiter are both benefics. What would happen is I'd go out on this, and instead of money, one of those very sexy, beautiful cocktail waitresses would appear right on time. There was Venus. Here's a free drink for you. But it didn't mean money, and I didn't win at gambling. To do that, money, we got to go to Jupiter. We'll talk about that next week. There's my phone number, 808-322-3584, and the website on frac.com/astro or YouTube. Call me up.